Welcome back to the Tigers Den podcast, guys. Before we get started, you know what we got to do. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're brand new, and don't forget to ring that bell. Join the Noti Squad and hit those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG at Big C God Game. Well, our Tigers moved to 9-0 after dominating Oklahoma State. 70-26 was your final. An explosion in the second quarter. 35 points for the Tigers. Blew the game wide open. Another great showing for Cody Walker, 17 of 22 for 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He was cerebral this week, man. This guy was throwing the ball left and right, and he had a great day on the ground as well. But the star this week was Pierre Jackson on offense. 20 carries, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns. He is your player of the game. In cleanup, you see Kevin Easley had 10 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. Cody Walker, 10 carries for 75 yards and a score. And look at our guy Harrison down here, man, the backup quarterback. 2 carries, 44 yards. We see you, my guy. Out wide, Sheldon Hicks led the way with 4 grabs for 76 yards. Bobby Smith had 4 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown. Kevin Easley had 2 catches for 32 yards. Antonio Walker, 2 grabs for 82 yards and a score. And shout out to Mike Harper, 2 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. Now, on defense, we gave up a lot of passing yards. Brent Stovall had 10 tackles this week. A lot of that was because Brent was getting toasted out there. But look at CeCe. Caleb Causey is your defensive player of the game, man. 9 tackles. He had 6 sacks in this game. If you don't believe that Caleb Causey is the best player in college football right now, you're on something. Brian Chase had 8 tackles and a sack. Shout out to Ken Johnson, 4 tackles and an interception. And Mike Anderson got into it, 2 tackles and a sack as well. Guys, I think we found our new special team star. Eldon O'Connor had himself a day on kickoff returns. 7 returns for 335 yards and 2 touchdowns, taking both back 101 yards. Man, this kid's something dynamic, man. We better watch out. He might start breaking some records here. We dig deeper into the stats and see that we held Oklahoma State to 2 yards rushing on the ground while we rushed for 361 yards. But they did outthrow us, throwing the ball 439 yards to 319. But look at what the defense did. 4 of 12 on third down for Oklahoma State. Grambling State was a perfect 7 for 7 on third down. So with that win, Grambling State's still your number 1 team in the country. And at number 2 is Pittsburgh, followed by Army. They're up a spot to 3. BYU's up 2 spots to 4. Texas sitting strong at 5. Penn State's up a spot to 6. Alabama jumps 5 spots to 7. Oklahoma's up a spot to 8. Oklahoma State falls 6 spots to 9. And Miami rounds out your top 10. Taking a look at the awards semifinalists so far this year, this I think is the first week that these numbers have come out. And shout out to Cody Walker and Pierre Jackson. They're on the short list for the Maxwell Award. Sophomore Pierre Jackson is at the top of the Walter Camp Award, and coming in at 6 is Cody Walker. The Bednarik, I mean, you might as well just to give it to Grambling State's defense. Caleb Causey leads the way, followed by Aaron Wilkinson, Brian Chase, Brent Stovall, Ken Johnson, Nick Sellers, and Travis Haley is in at 9. For the Nagurski Award, Caleb Causey leads the way, followed by Nick Sellers, Brian Chase. Aaron Wilkinson is in at 5, and Ken Johnson's in at 7. The O'Brien Award, some big names on this list. Matson from Bama, Newby from Louisiana Tech, Young from Oklahoma, Whitworth from Iowa, and then Cody Walker is coming in 5th. For the Doak Walker Award, is there any doubt? Pierre Jackson leads the way. I'm kind of shocked. The Bolitnikoff Award, Antonio Walker's not on this list. I'm kind of shocked. For the Outland Award that recognizes the best offensive lineman, coming in 3rd is Marcus Berry, our right tackle, and then at center, Joseph Clayton. For the Remington that recognizes the best center in college football, Joseph Clayton is 3rd on this list. The Lombardi Award recognizes the best defensive lineman. Caleb Causey leads the way, followed by Nick Sellers. And then Mike Anderson, our big D tackle, he's 4th on this list. For best linebacker, Brian Chase, the freshman, he leads the way, man. What a year this kid is having. 39 tackles, a sack, 3 forced fumbles, 2 touchdowns, and a host of interceptions. Talking about interceptions, the Thorpe Award recognizes the best cornerback in college football, and our entire secondary is on this list, man. Aaron Wilkinson, Ken Johnson, Brent Stovall, Travis Haley, And then you jump down the Roadrunner, Eric Rogers. He's in at 8. And best returner, any doubt, Eldon O'Connor is having himself a breakout year returning kicks. He's got 849 yards on kick returns with 4 touchdowns, 2 in the last game. Man, it's going to be a Grambling State showing at this award ceremony at the end of the year. So we hop into recruiting and welcome the newest member to our recruiting class. This is Mike Robinson. He's 6'6", 237, the number 5 tight end in this class, and he's from Virginia. And he's got a great skill set, decent speed with 81. His catching ability is off the charts. And he has a little bit of blocking as well. He's going to fit in great with Tim Clark, Sheldon Hicks. We'll have 3 great tight ends going into next season. Taking a look at the top of the board, Charles Hodges is Grambling State as his number 1 team, but Ohio State is not too far behind. 4-star athlete J.J. House has Grambling State as his number 1 team, and Ohio State is a distant second. We're still battling for number 1 wide receiver Kareem Bowser from Texas. The 5-star has Grambling State as his number 1 team, but the Lobos and Baylor aren't too far behind. We are looking for more depth on that defensive line, and Chris Bobo is the guy for us, man. The 4-star DN has Grambling State as his number 1 team, but by a large margin. We're in a battle for big tackle Justin Wheatley. The 6'6", 288-pounder has Mississippi State, Navy, and Wisconsin above Grambling State. Same for Thad White, the 6'3", 277 3-star guard from Texas, Mississippi State, UK, and the Lobos all above Grambling State, but we will be fighting. We have a short lead for Michael Jansen, the 6', 218-pound 4-star middle linebacker from Ohio. We're above Navy, Cincinnati, and Toledo. 4-star outside linebacker Ryan Mills was just on campus this week, and he has moved Grambling State to his number 1 team above Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Hopefully we can get a commitment here in the next couple days. Our lead is growing for 4-star athlete Joe May. He's 6', 189 from Missouri. He's the 33rd ranked athlete in the country. Another person we're keeping a close eye on is Maurice Johnson, the 6'2", 240-pound 3-star athlete from Ohio. Grambling State is number 1 on his board, and Akron is a distant second. JUCO transfer Bill Temple has Grambling State as his number 1 team. He's a 6', 203-pound athlete from Arkansas. Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and A&M all distant. Hopefully he'll commit real soon. We have been on the recruiting trail, and we found another transfer, man. This is James Sharp. He's 6'3", 247, a defensive end from Pennsylvania. And he could add solid depth to the defensive line, man. The speed's not that great, but the block shedding traits are solid, man. He's got a great power move, solid finesse moves, and decent block shedding. With the red shirt, he'll probably be a little bit better going into his next season. Another defensive lineman we've got a close eye on is Richard Samuel. He's 6'2", 264 from Santa Monica, California. He's a 75th ranked defensive end in the country, a 3-star. Right now, Nebraska and Michigan are ahead of Grambling State. And this is another depth player, man. 73 speed, 70 agility. The power move, finesse move, block shedding all needs work. But he's got some traits that we could work with. And he could grow into be a decent pass rusher in the next few seasons. So the recruiting class is starting to take shape. We've got 9 players committed so far and looking to add a lot more. If you guys want to stay up to date with everything Grambling State and the recruiting class, make sure you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and IG at Big C Got Game. Well, this week our Tigers are taking a trip to the Northwest to take on the Washington Huskies. The Huskies come in 3-6 this year, a disappointing season so far. They lost to ULM in week 1, came back and beat Idaho, and then went on a 5-game losing streak, losing to Stanford, Arizona, Colorado, Utah, and USC. Actually, yeah, it's a 5-game. But they're on a 2-game winning streak right now. They went in and beat Cal, and then they beat Oregon State. Now they get to see us. The Huskies are led by freshman quarterback Brandon Bennett. He's thrown for 1,229 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. And surprise, surprise, he's a scrambler at 6', 204. He's got decent speed. The arm is not that great. 80 throw power, 80 accuracy. He can shed some tackles, so we got to make sure we wrap up this week. On the ground, Andy Larson leads the way with 132 carries for 717 yards, 7 touchdowns. He's averaging 5.4 yards a carry. Brian Palmer, he's the senior running back, man, 52 carries, 318 and 1 touchdown, but he is injured. And then there's Brandon Bennett, 93 carries for 241 and 4 touchdowns. And we got to keep an eye on Todd Hawthorne, 41 carries, 229 and 5 touchdowns. Out wide, Steve West leads the team in catches, yards, and he is second on the team in touchdowns. 33 catches, 437 yards, 3 touchdowns. Then you have big tight end Derek Washington, 6 foot, 251, 27 grabs for 389 and 5 scores. Adam Harris, 6'5", 207, 24 catches, 322 and 1 touchdown. And then you have Kevin Battle, 11 catches for 106 and a score. Again, I like our secondary's chance against this wide receiver group. We got to make sure Brent Stovall is on his A game this week, man. Last week he got torched, so look for him to have a big game this week. On defense, Darnell Flowers leads the way with 71 tackles and 3 sacks. Then freshman middle linebacker Harold Davis, 67 tackles, 2.5 sacks. And Lamar Butler, another outside linebacker, he's a 92 overall, 47 tackles, 31 assisted tackles, and 5 tackles for loss. In the sack department, Darnell Flowers leads the way with 3 sacks. Then you have Harold Davis, who has 2.5. D tackle Sean Lane, he's got 2.5. Antonio Montgomery, a freshman left end, he has 2 sacks. Robbie Hill, a right end, he's a 91 overall, he has a sack and a half. And then Gerald Mackey, he has a sack. And for interceptions, safety Michael Smith has 2. Cornerback Chris Larson has 2. And then left outside linebacker Lamar Butler, he has 2. So let's dig a little bit deeper into this Huskies roster. As you can see, star running back Brian Palmer, he's out for 6 weeks with a broken wrist. And then defensive tackle Greg Harrington, he's out for 4 weeks with a torn groin. So we start things off on the offensive line. Chris Gay, 6'4", 327, left tackle. He's an 86 overall. At left guard, there's Tim Sanders, 6'7", 286. He's an 87 overall. Up the middle at center, Brandon Davis. He's an 88 overall. At right guard, you have senior Maurice Taylor. He's an 87 overall. And then at right tackle, Dan Jackson, 81 overall, 6'5", 302. Decent offensive line, but I still like my guys, Caleb Causey and Nick Sellers, to get sacks this week. On defense, the Huskies seem young. Antonio Montgomery is a 6'2", 236-pound freshman. He's a 75 overall. Then you have senior Robbie Hill, 91 overall, 6'3", 251. Up the middle, Harrington is hurt, so you have freshman Sean Lane and freshman David Baker. Lane's a 74 overall, and Baker's a 72 overall. At linebacker, Lamar Butler, he's a 92 overall. At middle linebacker, Harold Davis is an 83 overall. He's a freshman, followed by junior Tony Ward. He's an 82 overall. Darnell Flowers, he's a star. He's the captain of this defense. He's an 88 overall. And his backup is Darius Hawkins. He's an 86 overall. At corner, they're kind of weak, man. Chris Larson, he's an 87 overall with 95 speed, but then they take a dip off. Tyler Meyer is an 80 overall with 89 speed. Pat Strong, he's going to be pretty good in the next couple of years. He's a freshman, 79 overall with 95 speed. And then you have Mark Gutierrez, 77 overall with 91 speed. At free safety, Derek Watson is an 86 overall. And then you have Michael Smith, an 83 overall with 82 speed. I think we might be able to take advantage of their slow foot. Larson is the best corner, so look for Bobby Smith to maybe have a big game. But I'm looking to get the ball more to Antonio Walker. I want him to have another 1,000-yard season. So here's a look at our stats so far this season. Cody Walker is thrown for 2,339 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. On the ground, Pierre Jackson is a beast, 191 carries for 1,354 yards, 21 touchdowns, man. He's averaging 7 yards a carry. Cody Walker has 473 yards and 9 touchdowns on the season. Easily in his backup role, 452 yards and 6 touchdowns. A shout out to our freshman Eld O'Connor, 102 yards and 1 score. Out wide, Cody is doing a great job spreading the ball out this season, man. Antonio Walker leads the way with 39 grabs for 548 and 4 touchdowns. Bobby Smith is having a great season as well, 32 grabs for 398 and 7 touchdowns. Will Carter, our third wideout, 25 grabs for 342 and 5 scores. Sheldon Hicks, the big freshman tight end, 21 catches for 380 and a score. Easily has 18 grabs for 144 in a score. Tim Clark, 18 grabs for 267 and 3 touchdowns. And then Mike Harper, he's having a solid season, man. The numbers really don't show it, but he's doing a lot on the field. 14 grabs for 225 and 4 touchdowns. On defense, the best player in the country is Caleb Causey. 43 tackles, 24 tackles for loss, and 20 sacks. This kid is a beast, and we're going to miss him next year because he is a senior. Our freshman middle linebacker, Brian Chase, 39 tackles on the season, 8 tackles for loss, 1 sack, but he has 5 interceptions on the season. This kid has been everywhere on the field. He's got great zone coverage, and he's lanky, so he can get after you just by wrapping his arms around you. Shout out to senior cornerback Brent Stovall, man. 37 tackles, 5 interceptions on the season. Travis Haley's having a breakout year at free safety, 33 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 3 interceptions. Antoine Nugent, 31 tackles on the season. Brandon Ginn is having a down season so far. We're not utilizing him a lot. He's got 29 tackles, 10 tackles for loss. Another person that's having a breakout season is Aaron Wilkinson, the sophomore corner. He's got 27 tackles and 8 interceptions on the season. Andrew Benson has 26 tackles and 1 interception. The road runner, Eric Rogers, he actually got benched because Wilkinson has been playing out of his mind. But Rogers still has 2 interceptions on the season. Nick Sellers, another breakout candidate, man, 24 tackles, 15 TFLs, and 12 sacks. Looking more into the sacks leaders, Mike Anderson has 7 sacks. Sophomore Dan Beard, he's got 5 sacks. Marcus Jones has 3. Ken Johnson from his cornerback spot, 2 sacks. Freeman, Manning, Chase, Benson, Wilkinson all have 1 sack apiece. We are turning the ball over a lot on defense, man, and I'm super excited about it. Like we said before, Wilkinson leads the way with 8 interceptions. Chase has 5. Stovall has 5. Ken Johnson has 5 interceptions this year. Travis Haley has 3. Eric Rogers, like we said before, has 2. Craig Manning and backup has 2 interceptions, and Andrew Benson has 1. Brian Chase has also forced 3 fumbles. Causey, Haley, and Sellers each has 1. And when we get our hands on the ball and either interceptions or fumbles, we're deadly. We could take it back to the house. Ken Johnson has 2 pick sixes. Rogers has 2. Chase has 2 touchdowns. Wilkinson and Stovall each have 1 apiece. Now, in the return game, Elton O'Connor is balling, 849 yards and 4 touchdowns. It was a great decision to make him the starting kick returner after Eric Rogers just seemed like he couldn't get going this season. But we're still looking for that punt return for a touchdown. I think it's coming soon from Connor. And finally, we'll take a look at our kicker, Ryan Davis. He is having a rough season, man. He is 1 of 4 on the season, and his long is 30. We don't kick a lot of field goals, but when we do, he can't get it right. So it's time to get ready for the Washington Huskies and a trip up to the Great Northwest. And it looks like Herbie is rolling with the Grambling State Tigers. Thanks for watching, guys. I know this video was a little bit longer, but I appreciate you guys so much. If you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're brand new, and don't forget to ring that bell. Join the Noti Squad. Hit those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG at Big C Cat Game. And we'll talk from the Great Northwest as we get ready to take on the Washington Huskies. Have a great day, guys. 2 fingers in the air. Peace.